Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Today we have a Tier 10 domination battle for you here on the Faroe Islands map. The battle was sent in by Squelchy Squill here in the Tier 10 European destroyer, the Gdansk, and he's divisioned up with his buddy Admiral Big Nuts, yes that's his name, in the Dutch Tier 10 cruiser, the Golden Lion. However, today's battle is not so much about Squelchy Squill, although he does play well, as it is about the teamwork on display towards the end of the battle. In one ship in particular, and minor spoiler, it's not Squelchy Squill here. Before we get there though, I need to ask you a question. How many different ways can you actually win a battle in World of Warships? Leaving aside funny game modes like Airship Escort, there are basically three ways. Either 1. Destroy all of the ships on the enemy team. 2. Be ahead on points when the battle timer runs out. Or 3. Reach 1,000 points ahead of the enemy team. There are all kinds of different ways you can lose, but those are the only three ways you can win. So I'd like you to hold on to that thought as this battle approaches its conclusion, because I think this may be the very first time I've seen a battle end the way this one does. So, the Gdansk, Polish Tier 10 destroyer. Except it isn't, because it's basically the French Mogador. A sort of what if Poland had ordered Mogadors and then expanded upon the design. Wargaming had been running out of ideas as far as new ships go for quite some time now. And this is one of them. But it is a good ship. It only has access to high explosive shells, but it's very, very fast. I mean, even without a speed boost, he's doing 42 knots here. It's fairly big, though. It's almost light cruiser size, and as such, it doesn't have very good stealth, but it does have access to a smoke screen and surveillance radar in separate slots, so it doesn't have to choose between the two. And the guns are pretty good. Despite being larger caliber than you'd expect for a destroyer, they're 139mm guns. I mean, the reload is very nice, as you can see here. Squelchy using the smoke there, obviously spotted as he was trying to force the enemy Marceau to disengage. The matchmaking in this battle, even though everybody's tier 10, so nobody has to worry about getting up tiered, is not great for a large, not very stealthy destroyer. Each team have radar, there's a carrier in play, and each team have a submarine. One thing that the Gdansk does not come with is hydro, so he's not hanging around inside that smoke screen waiting to eat a bunch of Marceau torpedoes. Also making sure he gets some healthy distance between himself and the Des Moines radar. And he's doing pretty much everything right here, but he gets himself respotted anyway. It's now not just the Marceau, he's also got the Harugumo to worry about. And you don't want to be getting into a gunfight with a Marceau and a Harugumo backed up by a Des Moines. That being the case, why is he shooting at the Harugumo? Well, there's a method to his madness. The Harugumo's taken a substantial beating, and is the one spotting him, so if he can force the Harugumo to smoke up, and there it is, mission accomplished, that was the fastest way for him to go undetected. They're still shooting at him, of course. Oh, the Harugumo managed to get respotted again just for a second, pops a couple of shots in his direction, again totally safe thanks to those two smoke screens, one from the Harugumo and one from him, that are blocking direct line of sight. Okay. The scores are flipped again, by the way. His team are the ones who are actually ahead, thanks to possession of the central cap at Bravo. And sure enough, torpedoes. Probably from the Harugumo. Although they could be from the Marceau, we don't know where he disappeared to. This, of course, is why, if there's any possibility that torpedoes have been launched at you and you don't have hydroacoustic search, you don't loiter around inside of smoke screens, if at all possible. There's the Marceau. Okay, he's gotten respotted, but he should go undetected as soon as he gets this original smoke screen between him, yep, there it is, and the Marceau. He's not the only destroyer on the team down here by Cap Circle Charlie, by the way. There's also an Elbing and a Kleber, which is making life very, very interesting for those two enemy destroyers. They do have that Des Moines with them, though, who just took a big hit from something, probably the Venezia down to the south. Be wise to focus down the Des Moines, because if they can get rid of that, the two opposing destroyers are likely to cut their losses and just bug out and give up this cap circle. Oh, wait a minute, no, the Harugumo's been sunk. That's not the Des Moines spotting him though, because the Des Moines is now out of line of sight behind the smoke screen. So that must be the Marceau who can see him. And if the Marceau can see him, that means the Des Moines can shoot at him. So he wisely decides to cut his own losses and duck into cover behind the island here. The Des Moines, however, too close to the smoke screen to get adequate warning of his torpedoes. So there's his first kill. Both teams have now suffered 2 casualties. Perhaps most importantly, however, the enemy team are now without the Harugumo, an extremely dangerous destroyer, and their only radar, the Des Moines, which means hopefully the Marceau is going to be persuaded to cut his losses and get out of there and give up the cap circle at Charlie. Squelchy hammering away at the enemy Kremlin. The lack of armor-piercing ammunition isn't really that much of a handicap for the Gdansk, as most destroyers just fire high explosive anyway. He's spotted by the Kremlin, obviously, and he's managed to set a fire. But the Kremlin's occupied shooting at... I'm not sure, actually. It might be the Bourgogne. It might be Admiral Bignuts and the Golden Lion. What matters is he's not shooting at Squelchy. Squelchy is still spotted, though, and I'm pretty sure the Kremlin can't see him through that minuscule gap in the islands. Or possibly he could. Although I think it's more likely the Marceau saw him as he was passing through the gaps in between these smaller islands here. More importantly though, the team are now flipping Charlie, led by Camino Ridge 1 in the friendly Kleber, who by the way was also the player who sank the Harugumo, but assisted by Squelchy here. Yeah, he's definitely being spotted by the Marceau. There he is. There goes the radar. Bit of a waste, although probably just an instinctive reaction at finding an enemy destroyer within radar range, because the Marceau doesn't have smoke. Looks like the Marceau was circling back here to try to challenge possession of this cap circle, and then ran into Squelchy and immediately decided actually, yeah, not such a good idea. Squelchy, however, does have smoke. Oh, he took a big hit from the Kremlin. But I'm reasonably sure they're about to get the Marseille. Yep, his engine's knocked out, he's on fire, that's a kill. There it is. Even though that Kremlin is probably sweating bullets around about now, the team are not, well, they are ahead on points because they've had 1 cap circle for the majority of the battle and now they control 2. But they're not ahead on kills. In fact, they've just gone behind. The enemy Hindenburg took out one of their destroyers, the Yu Yang, and the enemy Bourgogne just depth charged and sank their submarine, the Gâteau. They are still about 50 points ahead though, thanks to possession of those 2 cap circles. There goes an airstrike from the Golden Lion. Yeah, the Kremlin is not going to survive much longer. But even though he can't see Squelchy, he can see the tracer from his 139mm guns, and he has loaded the high explosive, and that was a pretty good guess. Kremlin's gone down, but not before kicking Squelchy to within an inch of his life. Now the Hindenburg, who has just gone undetected. Towards the end of this battle, that is going to be a recurring theme with that Hindenburg, by the way. Minor spoiler alert. Switches his fire to the enemy Ohio, just as the Hindenburg pops up again, and the Ohio goes undetected. Oh well, Hindenburg's been respotted, so back to him. And he's still spotted. And he's attracting an awful lot of fire. So what laid the smoke screen over there that the Ohio moment... Ah, there it is, enemy Elbing. The enemy team do still have 2 destroyers, by the way. And while the Elbing itself isn't that dangerous, in a fair fight to another destroyer, the enemy Daring is. And with only 6,000... With only 1,000 hit points remaining, thanks enemy Essex, getting into a fight with the Elbing at the moment would be anything but fair. The Elbing and the Daring have managed to flip that central cap at Bravo. Whoa, the Hindenburg took a pop, probably thirsty for a little revenge there, just as Squelchy went undetected and was motoring on out of there. Oh, and he's still shooting at him, even though he can't see him. That's some remarkably good guessing from the Hindenburg, but he should be safe now. Unless, of course, the enemy carrier comes back, because his smoke screen's on cooldown, although he does only have to wait 16 seconds and he can get it back. The enemy having those 2 cap circles, however, is very unwelcome news because now they're catching up on points as well as kills. There's the Elbing. Somebody please kill him? Because I'm pretty sure Squelchy doesn't want to open up and get himself spotted. Okay, nice, good. They got him. There's the Daring. He can probably shoot from here without being seen. Actually, no, if he starts shooting now, the Daring's going to see him. He's waiting for the smoke screen. Okay, here we go. Unleash the Dakar. Killing the Daring would be great, although he has now smoked up himself. Ah, but he's inside radar range. Like I said, killing the Daring would be fantastic, but just forcing him out of that cap circle will do. Oh, I think he's going to get him. Okay, the destroyer radar doesn't last very long. But, yeah, he's got him, because, of course, the Daring was reversing, and therefore not going anywhere near fast enough in order to get out of line of fire. Any celebrations at this point would, however, be premature, as Squelchy gets himself the Confederate Award because the enemy Bourgogne just racked up his 3rd kill, knocking out the friendly Elbing. But if they can get that Ohio, that would help extend their lead and give them some breathing space to reclaim the cap at Bravo. It's Squelchy and Camino Ridge 1 in the Kleber shooting at him. He's been respotted. He's used his damage control. The fires are out. Doesn't matter. The Kleber's got him. That's kill number 2 for Camino Ridge in the Kleber. And they've spotted the enemy submarine, who very quickly, realising there were enemy aircraft circling overhead, has wisely ducked underwater. Now this is going to give Squelchy an opportunity to, well, I say sneak up on him. This thing's doing 43 knots. It's not sneaking anywhere. But this is going to give him an opportunity to get up there and maybe depth charge and kill the submarine. Very dangerous, though, because if that guy comes up to periscope depth, Squelchy doesn't have a huge amount of health remaining. And he's been spotted. And yeah, that's exactly what we were afraid of. Oh, this is bad. I mean, he immediately dives again when he realises there's a destroyer nosing around. But it did alert the Essex to the fact that there's a low health destroyer and therefore a very, very easy kill. And the Essex's team are kind of low on destroyers. They don't have any left. Here it comes. Here come the dive bombers. Engine boost is still running, so he's still going very, very fast. I mean, he was about to get spotted by the dive bombers there anyway. Here they come. AA guns firing. The Gdansk, however, does not have any long-range AA. Not that it's going to make a huge amount of difference in this game. Yep, the Essex gets it. The friendly Kremlin just went down as well. Oh, this isn't good. The enemy team are now actually ahead on points. And with 1 extra cap circle, oh, go-go gadget torpedoes. Not quite enough. It's enough to get the high caliber though, 240,000 damage and a double flood. And the friendly Nakamura finishes him off. That's the second occasion now where Squelchy has had a kill sniped from underneath him because the Kremlin's damage control was on cooldown and he had a double flood. He was about to sink anyway. He had something similar happen earlier when he was hammering away at the Kremlin with a last second shot from the friendly Bourgogne finishing him off. He should, if there was any justice in the world, now have a Kraken Unleashed to go with his high caliber and Confederate, but, well, he doesn't. Meanwhile, the friendly Kleber, Camino Ridge 1, doesn't even have 1,000 hit points to his name. The kills are even, but the enemy team have an extra cap circle and they've just sneaked ahead on points. Camino Ridge 1 and the surviving, barely surviving Kleber was having a poke around that central cap at Bravo. But the Essex is coming right at him, and he has definitely been spotted. The Hindenburg is shooting at him. Oh, that was close. And here comes the Essex. Okay, he's comfortably managed to dodge that first set of torpedoes, but he is, of course, still spotted. There are torpedoes coming in from the submarine. He's now caught between... He's got the Essex on top of him, a submarine on one side, the Hindenburg behind him. There's more shots coming in from the Hindenburg. They've fallen short. The second drop from the Essex has missed. Fairly sure the submarine has just dived. Oh, more shots coming in from the Hindenburg. Is this the friendly carrier, the Nakamov, coming to the rescue with a fighter squadron? No, it isn't. The Essex is coming back. He's got a bit of anti-aircraft fire support there. He's managed to get close enough to the Nakamov to receive cover from its own anti-aircraft envelope. Oh, hang on a minute. What is the U-4501 doing? The Nakamov, with its automated anti-submarine warfare defences, doesn't even have to be aware that there's a submarine within range. The carrier player can be away from keyboard and still kill a submarine that tries to attack him, and he has in fact got him. Camino Ridge closing in there as well for his own depth charge attacks, but yeah, submarine players, don't mess around with aircraft carriers, not in this game. You will not come out of it well. Two surviving enemies, the Essex and the Hindenburg over there. They do still have that extra cap circle, although Squelchy's team are now ahead on points, but the enemy team are slowly catching up, and with 4.5 minutes of this battle remaining, the enemy team will overhaul them on points unless they can sink the two remaining enemy ships while staying alive themselves, or take at least one of those two cap circles. Meanwhile, chat has been getting a little toxic with regards to the friendly Wisconsin, all the way down there at the far southeastern end of Cap Circle. Charlie. The Bourgogne desperately trying to take that Hindenburg down, but, well, the Hindenburg is dodging like a pro. I mean, it helps that he's at extreme range, and the Hindenburg does have very, very long-range guns for a cruiser, so he can keep himself at extreme range. And the high explosive alpha of the Hindenburg's 8-inch guns it's kind of scary, even for a battleship. Meanwhile, Camino Ridge in the Kleber, he understands his assignment. He's got less than 500 health, but if somebody doesn't flip that central cap at Bravo, the team are going to lose. This, however, is going to be significantly easier said than done, because a single hit, either from the Hindenburg's 8-inch guns or the Essex's dive bombers, is going to be enough to end him. And if the enemy Essex is even remotely capable of thinking and breathing at the same time, he's going to know that the second that central cap starts being flipped, it's the Kleber up to no good. And he is sending his torpedo bombers over. Whoa, there they go. The Kleber's once again managed to dodge, but he has of course been spotted, and the Hindenburg is instantly switching targets. Here come the torpedo bombers again. It's fortunate that it's torpedo bombers and not the dive bombers, otherwise he could be dead already. But while he's comfortably able to avoid the torpedoes, the 8-inch high explosive shells are a different matter entirely. The Essex is coming back. It's dropped a fighter squadron overhead to keep him spotted, but it's not going to be enough to prevent Camino Ridge 1 in the Kleber from taking this cap. He just has to stay alive a few more seconds. There it is, he's done it. The team now have a 50-point lead, and with the extra cap circle, the enemy team need to start sinking things in order to win, because there's no way they're going to retake this cap circle. Uh-oh. I did say the Essex might have better luck if he'd used... Yeah, they're the dive bombers. Momentary setback. I mean, the Kleber was living on a knife edge there. It was literally just a matter of time. But while the Kleber's death did flip the points in favour of the enemy team for a couple of seconds, with those two cap circles, Squelchy's team are clawing it back, and they are about to equalise, and they've gone ahead on points once again. There's a minute and a half of this battle left. If the enemy team kills something, they might still win. There's no way they're getting control of those cap circles back. The Hindenburg needs to maintain distance, and carriers don't take cap circles. Obviously realising this, the Hindenburg starts hammering the Wisconsin, who is on perilously low health, with massed volleys of 8-inch high explosive. The Nakamov has taken out the Essex. Okay, there is now absolutely no way that Hindenburg, even if he kills the Wisconsin, it's not going to be enough to make a difference. There's less than a minute left. The green team, with a 2-kill advantage and 2 cap circles, will soon be 200 points ahead. You really got to feel for this Hindenburg, though. He's played one hell of a game. Oh, we took a big hit there from the Nakimov's rocket attack planes. He might still be able to get that Wisconsin, though. I mean, it won't be anything more than a consolation prize because it isn't going to be enough for him to win. Is he going to run and hide and just wait the clock out? Or is he going to go down fighting? Oh, he took a shot there with a single turret. Probably just trying to see whether or not that was going to get him spotted. And it has. And it looks like, yep, he's going to try and finish off that Wisconsin. And he might do it. Remember at the beginning of the video I said there was only 3 ways that you could win a battle of World of Warships. Destroy the entire enemy team, be ahead on points when the battle timer runs out, or reach 1,000 points ahead of the enemy team. Squelchy's team just reached 1,000 points as the battle timer ran out, while at the same time destroying the last ship on the enemy team. They just did all 3 at once, and I have never seen that happen before. It's probably also worth pointing out, despite all of the anger being directed towards the friendly Wisconsin towards the end of the battle, and while he did finish dead last on the team as far as experience earned is concerned, he still got more than 1,000 base experience, so he didn't do that bad. You do kind of have to feel sorry for the top 4 scoring players on the enemy team, though. The Burgoyne, the Hindenburg, the U-4501 and the Ohio, who all earned a lot more than 1,000 base XP on a defeat, but, well, if you can't take a joke, you shouldn't be playing World of Warships. But congratulations to Squelchy Squill in the Gdansk, and, well, the whole team, really, including the Wisconsin, but special shout-out definitely has to go to Camino Ridge 1 in the Kleber, without whose sacrifice that victory would not have been possible. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.